While the Jews held the British accountable for Arab violence, the Arabs blamed the British for the loss of their land. Increasingly, sporadic incidents of violence were replaced by organized resistance to British rule. As in recent years, the political struggle over land had taken on a new and deadly religious dimension.
We are at the graveyard in which the most important tomb is that of Ezzadin Qassam, the leader of the Palestinian guerrilla movement of the 1930s who fought against the British, and whose name now is the name of the main military wing of the Hamas. And it's also the name of the missiles which are being fired from the Gaza Strip into Israel. This was where he used to preach what we will call today probably political Islam or Islamic fundamentalism. That the only way of pushing forward national ambitions such as independence and self-determination or the eviction of the British and the Zionists could only be through the Islamizing of the society.
For al-Qassam, there could be no separation of politics and religion. He called for a jihad, a holy war against the British. As Arab insurrection against their rule escalated through the 1930s, the British were forced to call in experts in counter-terrorism. The wall that snakes through Palestine, dividing Jew from Arab, was the brainchild of Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon in the 1980s, and was designed to keep Palestinian terrorists out of Israel. But the Israelis were not the first to build a defensive wall. In 1936, the British sent their greatest anti-terrorist expert to Palestine. Sir Charles Teggart, known as the strong man of Bengal because of his ruthless suppression of Indian nationalism, had the idea of erecting an anti-terrorist barrier along the borders of Palestine. These are Teggart's own drawings, showing exact details of the fence's construction. He also built dozens of concrete guard posts. He imported attack dogs from South Africa and established a center in Jerusalem to train interrogators. The death sentence began to be meted out. Then, Teggart was joined by another of the British Empire's hard men, Orde Wingate. Wingate was another committed Christian Zionist. From his arrival in 1936, he saw his part in the creation of a Jewish state in Palestine as being a religious duty and the literal fulfillment of Christian prophecy.
A British officer impassioned by the Zionist cause, Captain Orde Wingate, offers to teach the Jewish settlers how to organize themselves for fighting. He teaches them one strategy: to defend yourself, resist; to survive, attack.
Wingate set up special night squads made up of British and Jewish soldiers. Every night, groups of 8 to 20 men would patrol and set ambushes near Arab villages. This was to be a private army to counter terrorism with its own. Wingate is remembered today as a founding father of the Israeli Defense Force.
He has the most important place, I think, in the pantheon of Israeli heroism. This person really pushed forward the military power of the Zionist settlement towards collective actions against the rural community. And most of the Palestinians were living in rural communities.
The British want peace at any price. They try to restore order, search everybody. They act as if both sides are equally guilty. And in fact, British administration retreats from objectivity a little more with each Arab act of violence.
For some politicians, the escalation of violence came as no surprise. As Winston Churchill asked,
"Can it be expected that the Arabs would stand by impassively and watch the building up with Jewish capital and resources of a Jewish army equipped with the most deadly weapons of war until it was strong enough not to be afraid of them?"
ضربنا 6 أشهر رحنا هناك بيع الأرض والنسيان والأرض والهجرة يمنعوها ما استجابوش إنا أبدا قط من الإنجليز. إحنا صرنا ضد الإنجليز بعد خرجنا عن العصيان المدني إلى جماعة مقاتلين.
Bashir Ibrahim is 100 years old now. In 1936, he joined the Arab revolt against the British.
نروح ناخذ هذول المواصيل ونروح بالليل فهمتي من الطرق هاي اللي بنمكها الجيش نيجي نكحف من هون ومن هون ونحطهم فهمتي وني يبقى.
انت معك سلاح ولا بس الغام؟
سلاح كيف بس الغام؟ يبقوا من هون 10 مسلحين من 10 مسلحين مش يعني لما السيارة اللي ينجى واحد أو السيارة تكل بيظل يرشوهم.
Demolishing the homes of Arab civilians, shooting handcuffed prisoners, forcing local Arabs to test areas where mines may have been planted. These sound like the sort of accusations made by Arabs today about Israel's recent military actions. In fact, they are descriptions from official British documents of the methods used by the British authorities to combat Arab terrorism.
عاملونا معاملة ما واحد عاملها في الأرض في الظلم القتل والذبح دواما. شايفين مش اليوم في قتل وذبح؟ ها مش فيه؟ ها هذا ولا شيء بجانب هذا.